All right, guys, welcome back to part 15 of the steroid bootcamp. As you can see, it's almost Halloween, so I had to pull out the fucking jack-o'-lantern shirt. All right, guys. So, once again, part 15, designing your PCT, compounds, timing, and tapering strategies. Very fucking important, okay? Every section of this goddamn bootcamp is important, but your PCT, the nitty-gritty of what you're going to do here is absolutely crucial. So, top right into this. Let's make sure we are green. Boom. Let's go. Part 15, once again, designing your PCT, compounds, timing, and tapering strategy. So, the introduction to the PCT is right here. Your post-cycle therapy, it's also known as a PCT, is essential for restoring your body's natural hormone production after an anabolic cycle suppresses it. You always have to run a PCT. Now, I know there's a major debate right now in the industry, such as should you PCT or should you fucking blast and cruise? Now, if you are a more advanced intermediate user, you already know that you're going to be doing this for the long haul. You're going to be cycling on and off, taking multiple cycles, taking TRT for life. You should be blasting and cruising. Absolutely. No question. It's going to be a lot less toxic on your lipids. A post-cycle therapy in general is very toxic. This is not something that you just fucking deploy a million times, okay? It is very toxic to your lipids. There is going to be a strain, but it does boost your natural hormone production back up into range if you are planning to just take one cycle and then stop permanently. If you're not going to take TRT for life, if you're not planning to take an additional cycle after your first fucking cycle, then you should absolutely post-cycle therapy. The discussion gets my wheels turning because a lot of people are saying always blast and cruise, never post-cycle therapy. Yes, again, it's a lot less toxic, but if you're already come to the conclusion, if you've come to that conclusion that you're going to be taking the shit for the long haul, of course blast and cruise, but just keep in mind, if you are exposed to these compounds for a prolonged period of time, which is what you're doing by blasting and cruising, when you blast and cruise, you're never coming off essentially. You're blasting a cycle and then you're cruising on testosterone. That's why it's called blast and cruise. That means you're going to be prolonged for a very, very long period of time, which means if you ever decide to come off, even if you are stimulating your testicles with HCG during this process, if you ever decide to come off, it is going to be borderline impossible to restore your natural production back to where it was without waiting a long period of fucking time, which is going to be very brutal, okay? If your test is crashed, if you're trying to gain your natural hormone production back for a long period of time, it sucks. Okay, you're going to experience fatigue, depression, low work ethic. It's going to be very hard to be active as a male and operate at your full potential or most optimal potential during this time span, which would lead a lot of people back to start taking these compounds again and get a never-ending loop of taking these fucking compounds, okay? So I had to make that point very clear. This is going to be specifically for post-cycle therapy, but we're going to go over some cruise protocols as well in this section. So going back to this here, without a proper PCT, you do risk prolonged load tests, muscle loss, fatigue, and long-term health issues like infertility. A post-cycle therapy focuses on stimulating your LH, which is luteinizing hormone, and FSH, which is follicle-stimulating hormone. Make sure you know what these two variables are to kickstart endogenous testosterone. This is why you have to do the post-cycle therapy, okay? When you're on cycle, your LH and FSH will be suppressed. As I went over in the past section, it's either going to be mild or heavy depending on your cycle. But these are going to be suppressed, and your main goal afterwards is to get these back into range so that you are producing testosterone naturally again when you come off. Now, moving on to the next slide here, always base your post-cycle therapy on your blood work results from your mid-cycle and end-of-cycle to customize it effectively. It is going to be different, your specific compounds or your dosing, dependent on your bloods, okay? So whether you're going to take enclomiphene alone, whether you're going to take Clomid, Nolvadex, tamoxifen, HCG, you should always be taking HCG, but the dosing and compound selection, once again, depends on your labs. You want to consult a professional before starting your post-cycle therapy to ensure safety and monitor progress, such as myself, such as anybody in the industry that knows what the fuck they're doing. Now, you can also do this on your own. We're going to go over some protocols here, but you always need to base this off your labs. Don't just look at a forum, see a guy saying take Nolvadex and enclomiphene at this specific dose and HCG and you're going to be good. You can't do that. That's bro science. That's a general rule of thumb, and this can cause problems. It's going to be tapered based on your labs with the compounds and dosing. Now, here are the key compounds that you're going to be taking here. So to start out, Okay, we got SERMs. So SERMs are very common during a post-cycle therapy. Tools like Clomid, which is clomiphene citrate, Nolvadex, which is tamoxifen citrate. They block estrogen receptors in pituitary. They boost LH and FSH. That's why these compounds are so important. Also, clomiphene is an amazing option. Okay. HCG, which is human chorionic gonadotropin, this mimics LH, which is luteinizing hormone, to prevent testicular atrophy. You want to use sparingly to avoid desensitization. This is why you shouldn't take this for the whole goddamn cycle. I see a lot of people doing it. Now, technically you can, but you are just going to start getting dependent on the compound. You don't want that to happen. Take it sporadically. Do not just take it permanently, okay? But HCG is absolutely crucial to stimulate your testicles, prevent testicular atrophy, prevent infertility. That's the main reason why you're going to deploy that compound. Now, AI is also very important for PCT, like Aribinex or Aromasin, but you want to use it lightly in a post-cycle therapy to control your estrogen rebound without crashing it. Now, typically when you come off, you can run into an estrogen rebound. You want to control this. Otherwise, you can run into massive fluctuation and sides coming off. But you don't want to use too much, of course, okay, because that can absolutely tank your estrogen. Now, natural test boosters as well, supplements like D-aspartic acid, fenugreek, ashwagandha, these are optional, but suggested, okay, as adjuncts, but not as replacements for pharma-grade compounds. You can use these. I've had clients take these with massive success during a post-cycle therapy. And I've taken these as well during post-cycle therapy. It does help boost your natural hormone production just to give it that extra boost when you're coming off. But you should never rely on natural test boosters, OTC compounds. You should never rely on these solely. That's a mistake. Now, supportive ancillaries as well. You want to include liver support, milk thistle, lipid optimizers, fish oil, and sleep aids to aid overall recovery. Very important. Going to be dependent on your labs once again. Now, timing your PCT start here. So you want to begin your PCT about 2 to 3 half-lives after your last dose of anabolic compounds, which should be tested during your first blast to allow them to clear your system. So for short esters like Prop, test Prop, you want to start your PCT about 3 to 4 days after your last injection. Because Prop is going to be a fast-acting ester, that means that it will take about 3 to 4 days for that 2 to 3 half-life span to progress and to get out of your fucking system. So this is going to be a great time span for a short ester. You should not be taking this if you're new. However, if you are on a more advanced blast and you're only taking short esters such as Prop, this time span is going to be probably applicable to you. Now, for longer esters like enanthate, like Test E, you want to wait about 10 to 14 days to avoid overlapping suppression. This is a mistake I see all the time with new users. They'll start their post-cycle therapy literally the day after their last injection. You don't want to do this because it's overlapping with the test. The test is still in your system. For that 10 to 14 days, the testosterone is still fucking peaking and dropping out of your system. For a longer ester, the compound doesn't kick in right away. You're going to pin it and you're going to have to wait that 2-week time span for the compound to enter the system, to saturate into the muscle, to peak, and to exit the system. It is a slow process with a longer ester. So you don't want to immediately take the post-cycle therapy protocol right after your last pin. If you're taking a long ester, you want to wait till these half-lives are out of the system. 2 to 3 half-lives, once again, should be your general rule of thumb. And then you're going to be good to start deploying the PCT. Now, if you're using HCG, you want to administer it during the last 2 weeks of the cycle or in the bridge period before SERMs. You want to always use this a little bit before the end of the PCT to start the stimulation, and then you want to take it afterwards as well, about a week to 2 after. I would typically put my clients on 3 to 4 weeks of HCG when they're coming off the cycle. This seems to work very well based on labs, based on testicle stimulation, fertility. This is the best possible way to administer this compound. I do see people, if you're blasting and cruising, taking it sporadically during a blast, during a cruise as well. You don't want to take it for too long, but you do want to take it sporadically if you are going to be if you're going to have prolonged use to these fucking compounds if you're blasting and cruising, okay? Now, your total PCT duration should typically be 4 to 6 weeks, but you want to extend it if your blood work shows incomplete recovery. So, of course, you're basing your entire duration when it comes to your time span on your labs. Typically, it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks. If you're brand new, you won't need to push past 2 to 3 weeks. This will be a perfect time span to get everything back up in a range, assuming the fact that your hormone stability was perfect prior and your fertility was perfect prior. Now, if these weren't perfect prior, then you shouldn't have hopped on. You already fucked up, as I mentioned in the past fucking segment here. But if you did, you are going to have to extend the post-cycle therapy. If you have been exposed to more toxic compounds, more suppressive compounds, 4 to 6 weeks is typically what I see with my clients that we're pushing for PCT. But some people, okay, genetically, they're not going to react as well to the post-psychotherapy compounds. They might have to extend the recovery process to fully recover to make sure that they're good. They're fully producing testosterone again. Their testicles are back up in range. They're fucking stimulated. They're back. Their fertility's back up in check, so on and so forth, okay? It's heavily dependent on genetics. Now, tapering strategies, very important here. So serum tapering, you want to start with higher doses. Example, Clomid at 100 a day, 100 mgs a day for a week, about a week to 2 weeks, then taper to 50 milligrams a day for weeks 3 to 4 to jumpstart recovery without sides. You should never just take a static dose of the shit. End close, another fucking point here. You can take a static dose of that for a long period of time and be fine. But for the rest, you want to max stimulation in the beginning and then slowly taper off. It's the same shit when you're starting your cycle. You don't want to just hop into a crazy dose and then keep it that dose. You have to taper up, taper down. It's the same exact thing with your post-cycle therapy. Now, for HCG, you want to use low doses, example 500 to 1,000 IU every other day for about 10 to 14 days before your SERM protocol to avoid long-term. You want to avoid long-term to prevent Leydig cell desensitization, okay? So this is another very important point to keep in the back of your head. Always deploy your HCG a little bit before the post-psychotherapy. Don't just start everything at once. You want to deploy this a little bit before. Now, estrogen management tapering strategies here. If you're using an AI, start at cycle end dose and reduce gradually over 2 to 4 weeks to prevent a rebound, which can cause gyno, okay? Very fucking important. Now, monitoring and adjusting here. You want to get your blood work at week 2 and week 4 of the post-cycle therapy. Now, if you have a 2-week PCT, get it done right after. If you have a 4-week PCT, get it done right after. You want to make sure that you know exactly what's happening after the post-cycle therapy. Now, you also want to get your bloods done about 2 weeks after the PCT is fully out of your system, just to ensure that everything is back up into range, everything is stimulated. If you get your bloods done mid-post-cycle therapy, this is not going to give you an accurate representation on if you're recovered or not, okay? Because the compounds are still in your system. You're, of course, going to see your LH and FSH skyrocketed past the reference range. That's good. That means it's working. But you want to ensure that once these compounds are out of your system in full, you have to make sure that your natural production is now in the normal range. That's the whole point of the post-cycle therapy, okay? If your test isn't rising, extend or taper or add compounds. Again, it's going to be heavily dependent on your labs here. Now, lifestyle integration as well. Pair tapering with reduced training volume and increased calories to support hormone rebound. Screenshot that shit, very important. Now, here's some common PCT protocols that I put together, okay? Don't take these point blank. Just understand that this is a common protocol that you might see deployed based on where you're at with your journey, if you're a beginner or advanced user, etc. So this is going to be a typical basic beginner PCT. Nolvadex at 40 mg a day, weeks 1 and 2, 20 a day at weeks 3 to 4. You want to add HCG if shutdown is severe. HCG, again, should always be deployed as a part of your protocol. But if this shutdown is severe, you get your fertility test after, you see that you're not as fertile, which shouldn't be the case, by the way, with test only. But some people react differently genetically, of course, if it's severe, add HCG. For an advanced PCT, Clomid at 50 mg a day, plus Nolvadex at 20 mg a day for 4 weeks. Taper both by 50% in the last couple weeks, and you will be good. Now with the HCG bridge, HCG at 1,000 IU every other day for 10 days post-cycle, followed by a SERM taper. You want to customize based on cycle length and intensity. Mild cycles need lighter PCT as mentioned. Harsh ones require aggressive approaches, which is why if you're going to hop into an advanced blast or an intermediate blast, that means that you're already deep in the game. It's just not going to be worth it to keep PCTing. You're going to want to start blasting, cruising at that point. If I need you all to understand this shit, okay? I'm going to make this point very clear. If you're hopping into crazy cycles like Tren, like Anadrol, like Halotestin, like high doses of fucking Test even, Winstrol, Deca, and PP, you're basically telling your body that you're doing this for the long haul. You still can post-psychotherapy, take this shit for a short amount of time, post-psychotherapy, but when you get into toxic compounds that are very suppressive, it's not going to be worth it to post psychotherapy. At that point, you've already made the decision. I'm doing this as a lifestyle now. I'm going to take TRT for the long haul. That's when you want to blast and cruise, because you're going to get the gains, get the shreds, and you want to keep those afterwards. Hopping on TRT is a lot easier to keep the goddamn gains as opposed to coming off in full. You still will keep a lot of gains post psychotherapy, but you're going to lose probably about 25 to 50% of the goddamn gains. If you're on TRT, you should expect to keep roughly 80% of your gains if everything is still dialed, your training, your diet, etc. But when you take harsh fucking cycles, toxic cycles, it's going to be hard to fucking come back. Okay. And that's why you should be blasting and cruising in these cases. But if you're taking a light cycle, you don't know what you're going to do permanently yet. You don't know if you're going to blast and cruise, take the shit for the long haul, always post psychotherapy. But on a mild cycle, okay, if you're taking tests at a low dose, test VAR mass, whatever the fuck it is, you can still post psychotherapy and be fine. But when you start taking a gram a test, 500 milligrams of tren, fucking 200 milligrams of anadrol, you're heading into that territory where it's going to be very difficult to come back from. So please keep this in mind. Now, harsh ones require aggressive approaches. Okay, always prioritize natural recovery signals like improved libido and energy before ending your post-psychotherapy. Now, this is mitigating side effects during your post-psychotherapy mood and energy swings. Let me get a quick sip. All right. You want to use adaptogens like rhodiola, Jesus Christ, maintain consistent sleep, and avoid stims during your post-psychotherapy. These are massive stims, of course, like high doses of caffeine. You should not be taking like fucking Adderall, shit like that, regardless, but just avoid stimulants. Estrogen rebound, you want to monitor with blood work, use low dose AI. If symptoms like bloating or sensitivity appear, you always want to keep your E2 in range. Libido issues, incorporate zinc, vitamin D, and healthy fats. Consider temporary TRT if recovery stalls under medical supervision. This would be the case of blasting cruising, just choosing to blast and cruise if recovery is stalling. Okay, at that point, you know that you've been suppressed. That probably means you took a crazy blast, a toxic blast. TRT is probably going to be in your best interest to start deploying. Next up here is fatigue and muscle loss. You want to keep your protein high, train moderately, and use BCAAs to preserve gains, and now long-term monitoring as well. Post-PCT blood work at 4 to 6 weeks to confirm full HPTA recovery. I'd say anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks post-PCT is going to be excellent, but 4 to 6 weeks is going to really show you whether or not you have fully recovered or not, because the post-psychotherapy is fully out of your system. You're going to be good to go after that. And if your bloods are in check, you know the post-psychotherapy worked. If they're off, if it's still low, your LH and FSH is still fucking tanked, or it's on the lower end of the reference range, you know that you have to further deploy a post-psychotherapy regimen to get you back up into that healthy range. Now, here's some key reminders to end off this section. Never skip pre-PCT blood work to assess your baseline. Suppression levels, never do this. Always get that pre-PCT bloods done. If sides persist, stop your post-psychotherapy and seek professional help to rule out underlying problems. Like I said, PCTs are toxic. They don't come with no sides. These come with a lot of fucking side effects, okay? So you have to make sure that you're deploying this only if you don't know you're going to do this for a long haul. If you're planning to take a cycle and come off permanently, this is when you should post psychotherapy. But of course, if sides come up, you should get professional help. Focus on sustainable health as well. PCT is about recovery, not rushing back into another cycle, all right? Don't just fucking take the PCT and then forget about your bloods and then think subconsciously, oh, I took the PCT, I'm good for another blast. I have done this in the past, okay? This is not a good fucking idea. This is how people get shut down. All right, you have to ensure that you are taking your post-psychotherapy properly. You're getting your bloods done pre-PCT, after the PCT, to ensure everything's in range and you have successfully recovered yourself. This is not about rushing back into a fucking cycle. Don't have this mindset. You will lose, and you will most probably get shut down if you keep deploying your shit like this, all right? So that is going to kill it for section 15 here. Next up, we're going to go over nutrition and training during your post-psychotherapy, keeping your strength and mass. This is very important. A lot of people will hop into their PCT, lose motivation because the cycle's out of their system, and completely destroy all the gains or shreds they got from the cycle. So this is going to be how you retain that in this next section. I hope you guys enjoyed here. If you did, like and subscribe. I will be coming out with this next section very soon. Also, drop any questions you got in the comments. I'm still responding to everyone's comments on YouTube, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.